Trench Crusade has finally gotten its first ever 2-player plastic starter set. And I've been incredibly excited to start Trench Crusade, but personally I'm not massive on 3D prints and resin, because I like to build and kitbash, which I'm sure a lot of other people probably feel the same. So when this was finally announced, I was so excited I could finally get into Trench Crusade. And I gotta say a massive thanks to the team over at Trench Crusade for sending this box out to me. But to be perfectly honest, even if they didn't, I was 100% buying this. Especially with how good a deal this actually is. But yeah, enough of my waffling, let's get straight into this box. And let's also see if I can get this entire box, the 2 warbands and everything done in pretty much a week and a half or less. Because I'm going on a trip soon, but I really want to get this done. Wishful thinking most likely, but let's see how it goes. Hey everyone, I'm Jam and welcome to Bash and Brush. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything from the unboxing, the building, the quality of the miniatures, and then obviously trying to get it all painted up. So I'm going to put chapters in so you can skip around to whatever interests you. Now, obviously the box itself looks amazing. I love the Trench Crusade artwork, but the important stuff is what's in it. Now, each warband, I believe, came in 3 sprues each. One for the Heretic Naval Raiders, and one for the Sacred Affliction Trench Pilgrims. For anybody that's not aware of this box just yet. Came with 1 sprue of Scatter Terrain, which were these kind of sea mines and tank traps, or are they called hedgehogs? I'm not really 100% sure. But they'll definitely help make a board look more interesting. And one thing I didn't realize came with the box until I opened it was all these tokens. It comes with measuring sticks and all, like I said, these fancy tokens and stuff, which at some point I think will look really cool if they were painted up. Now, bases are bases, nothing interesting about them, but one thing I did really like about these is they come with these little slots under the base where you can fit in a magnet. And luckily I have some magnets that perfectly fit in there as well. I've never had bases that came with something like this, so I thought it was pretty cool. Now onto all the paper. And with Trench Crusade, all the instruction manuals are digital, which I think is absolutely great. Never mind saving the paper part, but the amount of times I've lost an instruction manual and I've had to try and find a PDF online. So I just think every company should just do this from now on, really. And another thing I really like about this box set is it comes with an intro scenario and also 2 intro warbands where you only have to use 3 miniatures on each side, which I'm definitely going to use to try and actually learn to play the game. And it comes with a really handy dandy quick start rules reference as well. And because this box is technically a campaign box, and Trench Crusade heavily leans into campaigns, it comes with this really thick campaign tracker booklet. Now, as of right now, I have absolutely no idea how any of this works, because again, I gotta actually get into the game myself. It comes with these campaign cards, this really cool campaign map, which also on the other side is just a giant poster. And last but certainly not least, easily my favorite part, is the Carcass Front campaign hardback book. Now with all this stuff, obviously I'm not going to be going through all the pages because I don't want to give any spoilers because, you know, it's a campaign thing. But just flicking through some of the artwork that really stuck out to me, it's a really beautiful and well put together book. And like I said, because it's a hardback and it looks so good, eventually if there's loads of these campaign books in the future, they're going to make your bookshelf just look pretty sweet. And speaking of great artwork, I saw this dude for the Trench Pilgrims and I really need to kit bash him now. I don't know what base model I would start with, but if you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments below because this is something I need to do. And of course, the now infamous grenade crab, which just looks awesome. But now onto one of my favorite parts of wargaming, and that's actually building the miniatures. And I gotta say, every single thing just went together super smooth, no issues at all. The only one that was a bit fiddly was probably the Drowned Chorister dude because, well, he's got a lot of chains and stuff wrapping around him, so it's a bit of extra bits, but again, not difficult at all. And I usually don't like comparing everything in wargaming back to Warhammer and 40k, but I know somebody will ask about the quality of the plastic. And I gotta say, without sounding shilly here, this is easily the best plastics I've ever had outside of Games Workshop. Now, I'm no expert on it, but if you class 40k or whatever as 100%, these plastics I would say are a 95. Like, I genuinely couldn't tell the difference apart from the actual art style. So yeah, I think there's definitely a bright future for plastics in Trench Crusade in the future. And as you can see here, another great thing about this box is almost every single miniature in here has at least 2 different build options. And that doesn't just mean a different weapon or a different head option. A lot of them come with different legs. You can get completely different poses. Obviously, me being me, I kind of swapped and mixed the different options to get the version that I liked. So yeah, you could easily trade a warband with a friend and get a massive warband that doesn't look the same. And again, I know I'm probably sounding way too positive here, but when I was getting this box, I thought that the Naval Raiders would be the warband I would go for. But building the Trench Pilgrims is legitimately the most fun I've had building a kit in years. There's so much character, so many options, and now I'm a full-on Trench Pilgrim player, I think. Now the only sort of, I guess you'd call it a kit bash, I did was with this running dude. The default pose says he's just running with a submachine gun, but I like the idea of him holding a submachine gun in one hand with no magazine in it, and he's just drawn a blade. But I didn't really like the position of the blade and all that kind of stuff, so I just ended up going for the magazine reload arm, and I thought this pose turned out pretty well. It tells a really cool story that he's just kind of running into cover while he's trying to reload his submachine gun. And that kind of brings me up to a funny point. You'd think that the Naval Raiders, being the followers of Hell, would be the dudes trying to rush into close combat, but it's actually the other way around. The Trench Pilgrims are the lunatics just using whatever to bash people's skulls in, and the Naval Raiders are actually more militaristic. They use tactics, smoke grenades, submachine guns, all that kind of stuff, which I find really cool. But anyway, on to the next step, and that is the basing. Trench Crusade has a very strong theme, which obviously you can base your warband in any way you'd like. But I'm kind of planning to eventually own the entire range, because obviously it's a skirmish game and there's a very low barrier of entry for this. So I'm going to lean into the actual trench part of the game, and that means coffee stirrers. I bought a couple of hundred of these on Amazon, probably for like £3 to £5. That should last me for my entire Trench Crusade life. But anyway, so I start super gluing these bad boys to the bases in just loads of different ways, depending on how I plan the actual base out itself. And once I had them all glued in, I went in with an old set of hobby clippers and I just clipped off all the excess bits. And then to really refine the edges, I went in with my hobby knife and then a little sanding stick as well, just to really smooth it all out. I'll also use my hobby knife here and there to scuff up the wood, take chunks out, all that kind of stuff. You know, this is a battlefield after all. And then once I had the model glued down and had the base where I wanted it, it was time to come in with some texture paste. Now texture paste is the best because you can really thicken it up and move it around where you want it. You got a lot more control and it makes the base look a lot more like mud compared to what sand and PVA would do. And in some places where I got it a bit too thick, I'd wet my brush and I'll just kind of blend that out as well. And at this point I had pretty much planks and the bases roughly planned out for almost every dude. But I just couldn't find my miniature barbed wire. But eventually, after hours of searching, I found it, so it was time to stick that on. Now this miniature barbed wire I'm pretty sure is also called security wire. Not 100% sure on that, but I use it all the time for different basing projects. And it's super easy to use. Just find the thinnest paintbrush handle you have and just tightly wind it around the brush handle. And you end up with this bit that looks like a spirally wheel of barbed wire. Now you don't really want to keep it as perfect circles either because, well, that doesn't really look realistic and battlefieldy. So I kind of bend and warp it in different sections just to, like, again, make it look like it's on an active bombarded battle zone. Now I do have a giant bag of 3D printed basing bits and I wasn't sure if I was going to use these and I'm not sure where a lot of it comes from, but I had some of these crosses and candles, so I'm going to scatter them around the bases as well, just again to really lean into that gothic religious Trench Crusade vibe. And of course you can never go wrong with some extra skulls. And there you have it, all the bases and the miniatures built and ready to go. And I'm not gonna lie, it's the first time I ever did kind of trenchy bases before, but I thought they turned out really well. Now obviously you can go more over the top if you want to, but I don't like to take away from the miniatures themselves. And speaking of, one thing I'm not all that good at is the whole grim dark aesthetic. But I wanted to add a bit more texture and kind of grime and rust to at least these scatter terrain bits. So I whipped out the old classic Typhus Corrosion and I dabbed it along quite thickly, especially in places where you think rust and grime would build up on all these, again, scatter terrain bits. The idea is once it's all primed up, there'll be nice texture there for you to be able to dry brush over and get washes in and all that kind of stuff. And I do this as well very sparingly on the naval raiders because lore-wise, these guys just pop out of the ocean as a sort of stealth tactic. So they obviously spend a lot of time underwater, which means, you know, a lot more rust on their armor. But anyway, as you can see here, I primed up the naval raiders in black, the pilgrims in a reddish brown, and I sprayed the terrain in silver. And as of starting to paint here, I have exactly 7 days to get this done. And I thought I would do the naval raiders first because in my head I was like, yeah, this should be the quicker warband to do. And as for their armor, I wanted to go for one of those old school diving suits kind of vibe. So I wanted them to have a kind of battered coppery brass color. So I started stippling on some Balthazar gold. And to be honest, I probably could have been a bit more rough with the stippling here. Again, I'm not very good at this whole grimdark vibe. But once I had that first base layer on all the armor plates, I wanted to stipple on a lighter bronze onto the top of the miniature and all the kind of sharp edges. So for this I used Sycorax bronze or Sycorax bronze. Not 100% on that pronunciation. And yeah, like I said, I'm just going to give a very light and quick pass over with this because I don't want them to be too bright. Now when it came to the kind of under diving suit bit, so that kind of the shirt and trousers part, I wanted to go for a drab green. And for a few bits of the capes and hoods, I want to go for a darker green for that. Now there's two reasons why I'm kind of sticking with greens for this warband. And one, obviously it makes them look more dirty, grimy, you know, they're underwater a lot, maybe things are a bit moldy and damp. But the other part of it, again, because they're very militaristic and they use tactics and stuff like that, I felt like they would use greens and darker colors just to kind of blend into the environment a little bit more. Now I did at least manage to get one highlight on all of the capes and hoods and stuff like that. But as you can see here, I was really trying to cram in any second I could. Because it's currently the summer holidays here in the UK and obviously my son's at home all day long, so you know I gotta cram in where I can. So I even had him joining me on my hobby sessions just so I could cram in a couple more minutes here and there. So at this point I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna get the skin done, well at least kind of done, on the drowned chorister dude, and I'm gonna have to call this warband done for now and move on to the pilgrims just so I can at least get something on them. And as for the skin on this, I just used Rakarth flesh, used some various washes like blues and fleshy tones, and then just went back over with Rakarth flesh again. Kind of in a stipply technique again. But hopefully I'll have time to come back to this dude because I absolutely love the miniature and that shark needs some real love because it's such a great extra detail to this miniature. Now moving on to the trench pilgrim dudes, and as of right now I've got 4 days but kind of 3 because you know I gotta go out and do stuff during the holidays. But anyway, with these guys I wanted their robes to be a dark burgundy kind of red. Because red is kind of the color of passion, violence, all that kind of stuff. And the pilgrims are basically just insane religious zealot dudes that rush into close combat. And obviously the burgundy side is because it's a bit more brownish, a bit more dirty I guess. Hence priming them in red-brown as well. The next step was all the bandages and cloth wrapped around these guys, and with this I went in with a really light grey because I'm planning to come in with some washes to do most of the heavy lifting. But as I got to this guy, I realized that I'm only like 3 or 4 miniatures deep into these bandages and I've got 2 days left. So my plan is now going to shift to getting the 2 leaders of each warband looking as good as I possibly can, and then I'll come back to the pilgrims to hopefully get them looking a little bit tabletop ready. So yeah, wish me luck because I'm gonna go back to painting right now. Alright, so future jam here, and as you can see, I managed to base coat everything on the leader of the trench pilgrims. And this is literally the day before I need to release this video. But like I think I said earlier in this video, I'm gonna let washes do a lot of the heavy lifting with some of these miniatures, and one of the most important things for that is all the bandages on these dudes. Now, some of the bandages I'm going to go over completely with Agrax Earthshade. In other sections, I'll go over the bandages lightly or stipple Agrax over them. And then I'll come in with Seraph and Sepia and just wash the rest of those bandages, giving that kind of like nasty, yellowy kind of tone, because these guys are all diseased leper kind of dudes. Plus they're running around trenches fighting heretics, so imagine they're going to be covered in dirt and other nasty things, I guess. And yeah, eventually get this model to, I would say probably like maybe an 80% done. You know, mostly a base coat and a wash on everything. A bit of a highlight here and there. But yeah, I definitely need to come back and make this guy pop a little bit more. And on a similar note with the Heretic Naval leader, I came in with some Agrax Earthshade and a bit of non-oil here and there, and just did a kind of recessed shade to help those metallics pop a little bit more. But again, I definitely need to come back to this one and add some different colors in, I think. It's probably a bit too bronzy. And obviously, it goes without saying, every single model in this entire box needs a lot more weathering. I need a lot more rust and stuff like that as well. But anyway, with that all said, I had a couple hours left to spare, and I tried to do as many as the Pilgrim bandages as I possibly could. But eventually it was getting late, and I had to just come to the conclusion that I was defeated. After about a week of late nights and really grinding it out, I just unfortunately couldn't complete the second warband to even a tabletop standard, unfortunately. But hey, if you want to see them completed, then definitely subscribe, because I'm sure I'll release a little short showcase of these dudes, and obviously maybe check out my Instagram as well, because I will definitely post them up there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it was interesting challenging myself. Speed painting is definitely one of my weakest points, and it's something I need to get better at. But besides that, I'm super excited about Trench Crusade going forward. I really want to get into it. And I'm hoping this box does really well because, well, I want the guys at Trench Crusade to make more of these and release more plastic kits. And on that note, this would be the part where I say, hey, if you like this box, use my affiliate link. But I like to think I'm a man of integrity, and for some reason, as of right now, Alchemist Workshop, as of recording this, is selling this box for £75, which is an insane deal if you ask me. So if you're in the UK or possibly in Europe, I'm not really sure where they ship to. Again, like I said, as of recording this, definitely check them out. I'll put a link in the description. For anywhere else in the world, unfortunately, I'm not really sure what are good stores. But yeah, I just saw that and I was like, man, that is a phenomenal deal. So I just had to let you guys know. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, obviously you know what to do, the YouTubey stuff, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And especially with this video, because I'd really love to know if you guys want to see more Trench Crusade stuff from me in the future. I've been really itching to do a modular trench table at some point. That'd be really fun. But yeah, if you do want to go the extra step to support the channel, I do also have those affiliate links, YouTube memberships, Patreons, all that kind of stuff. Massively helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. But until the next time, guys, I'm going to go try and finish these guys up, probably after my trip. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.